me. I don't know. Some people might call it a creative block. Other people call it depression. Other people call it laziness. Other people call it being undisciplined. Maybe some of those things are true all at the same time. I definitely am pretty undisciplined. I'm definitely depressed. Sometimes I'm not sure if I'm depressed, but I'm definitely depressed. And it's hard to figure out where all that intersects and where to start when you don't really feel like doing much with your life anyway. But then you feel like doing a lot of things with your life, right? I have tons of ambitions. Woo! I have tons of ambitions to be this fantastic content creator, to get good at editing, to continually create, to be diligent about my work and about my life. And my life is in shambles. All this crap over here, open drawers and boxes that are sitting around. And I should be moving in a week, and I have no, motivation. Well, I shouldn't say no motivation. I have very little motivation, other than the fact that I just want to get out of here to actually start putting boxes together and packing up. I could be making progress in my life in these ways, yet I find myself sitting down and doing the easy thing. I listen to a lot of podcasts and watch a lot of YouTube and play a lot of video games. All these leisure activities that get really, really old really quick. And so my solution, at least in part, is to talk about it, right? I'm not seeing a therapist right now. I don't have friends necessarily at my disposal at any moment to chat with and to get all this out, so I have to talk to myself. And so it seems a lot more sane of a context to make a video about it than it is to just talk out loud. Which I should do both. I should definitely talk out loud to myself. I should definitely take a portion of my day and do something with that. And there's also other leisure things that I would like to do that take a different kind of attention. For example, I want to read more, and yet I'm not very motivated to read, but I like the act of reading when I do read. Let me pull the stickers off this purchase that I made. I went to Barnes & Noble the other day, and I bought a book because I have a lot of respect and I really look up to the author. Yet I haven't started reading it yet. And it's a little bit silly because, it's something that I could be doing that's not on the computer, that's not in front of a screen, which I definitely need to be in front of the screen less. I spend way too much time in front of my computer on my phone, to the point where it just makes me unproductive. But I bought Hank Green's An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. I have no idea what it's about. I never bothered to look. I just knew that I wanted it because I really... That's one of the reasons I vlog, too. Is I watched the Vlog Brothers. And it's also a pretty basic piece of content to produce as a vlog. All you have to do is talk to a camera, make a few edits, and upload. But it also helps me figure out my life. And so I bought this book that has a lot of great quotes, reviews about it, and I really like the Green Brothers in general, and so I want to read this book, right? And I want to when I sit in front of a computer, I want to do more of video editing and recording. And I didn't bring a lot of my recording stuff back or my instruments back. They're all in St. Louis because that's where I want to be. And I didn't think I would be here that much longer, which I'm not. I'm not here that much longer. So I figured I would put some music stuff on the back burner and focus on other things and kind of force myself into a sort of boredom, right? Where I'd be forced to figure it out or just wither away. Even with this video, I plan or I intend to or I want to do a little bit more editing and just add a few more things to embellish it, which I just want to do that because it's a way to push the boundaries of the things that I can do and prove to myself that like I can do these things and I know that I can do these things. I just have to do them. But again, I'm so distracted by leisure. I'm so distracted by it's really easy to listen to other people talk instead of trying to talk myself or have to deal with the reality of creating things that take work and I'm going to get frustrated with at some point. And so now these are thoughts of trying to figure out how to do this. How do I make sure that I can get through this book in a reasonable amount of time? Do I plan out reading through the 300 plus pages? I tend to do well with lists and planning things out. So yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should make more lists, make more to-do lists. Writing things down seems to help. Planning out things for like, okay, if I want to finish an EP, like I have to figure out how it's going to get done. And I don't do a lot of that. And then I won't and that falls into like identifying issues with my work ethic as well and my discipline. Like, how do I get myself into a position where I'm making progress in that way and I can actually get things done? Do I need other people to keep me accountable? Some people don't. But it seems like that is a minority of people, and I'm probably not in that minority, right? So how do I become brave enough or honest enough with myself that I can ask somebody, to check up on me and saying, hey, Logan, are you doing these things? And is that going to be something that's going to discourage me or encourage me? And people aren't consistent, with that, and by no fault of their own. Everybody's got their own issues. So who does that need to be? Do I need to make time every week to meet with a person or two? Kind of like some people need a sponsor for like AA, so do I need a sponsor of sorts for my work ethic and making sure that I am studying new video editing techniques and I'm studying music more and I'm reading and I'm not just playing video games and watching YouTube? How do I keep accountable for my diet? I've been wanting to change my diet, because I attribute a lot of my sluggishness and depression, definitely not all of it, to my poor diet. Lots of carbs and sugars, not enough vegetables and fruits and things that are good for me. So how do I keep myself accountable? How do I keep myself motivated? And how do I plan ahead and make sure that I am putting things down on my schedule to make sure that those things I've made time for them and those things are prioritized, and how do I Should I schedule out my time? Do I need to schedule out my time? I think probably it's best if I schedule out my time, even the minute stuff, even like, okay, I'm gonna only play an hour, right? So I schedule out an hour of my time in any given day that I've dedicated only to playing video games. But it keeps it relegated to that hour, because what happens is I, end up playing a lot longer and being unproductive. So is that something I need to do? Probably it's probably something I need to do. But where does that start? And am I overthinking it, right? Are the things that I'm doing, am I being effective? Because I'm not being effective currently. So that's really what I need to work on, is I need to work on having effective habits, right? And it's hard. It's hard when I'm not consistent about it, and then I'm being jerked around here and there by things like work and living different places. I would say living conditions, but I don't have a bad living condition. Well, maybe poor living condition in the sense of like I currently live alone, and once I get to St. Louis, I'll have roommates, and that's really good for me because I have people to talk to, and when I have people to talk to, then that keeps me motivated because I tend to process things better in conversation. Hence why I'm having this little conversation with myself. But then that goes like, okay, that can go too far as well, because I can talk all the time and still not get anything done, even though I'm probably a lot happier most of the time and less depressed. And so I need to develop personal habits that can carry over even when I don't have these other resources at my disposal, right? So it's tough. It's tough trying to figure your life out, and it's tough trying to gain discipline when you have none. And it's tough trying to create content that you don't necessarily feel excited about, and that's going to take some time. And when you're not used to putting that time in, it feels weird and it can be really frustrating. And so how much content do I need to make, and how much time do I dedicate each day? And that's really the thing, is I want to be consistent about it, right? So can I start with a smaller amount of time that I'm dedicating to these things? And then, and how do I do that? I know people say develop habits one thing at a time, but where do I start with that? And how do I keep myself from getting discouraged when I want things to move faster, but I know that these things take time? I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know. I'm a pretty lazy intellectual in the sense that I should be able to look up arguments and do a little bit of reading and then, take some time thinking about what I'm going to say or type out, if I'm having some political debate on Facebook, which doesn't happen too often because I tend to avoid it because I'm lazy. I don't want to have to think. I think somebody's wrong and I want to make a compelling argument, and I don't want to just have it devolve into oh, you're dumb and you should really stop being so dumb. And that's not a conversation that I even want to start if that's what it's going to become. And then it's also a matter of okay, are these people even going to be receptive to what I say? And what kind of, you won't know that necessarily, unless you know the character of the person. But a lot of the times it's I don't necessarily know the character of the person, and I wonder if it's worth engaging. And so, but if I do want to engage, I want to be respectful, and I want to say it in such a way that I will actually capture their attention, and gain at least a minimal amount of respect as in how I engage them, because I want to engage people. I don't just want to attack people. And then it all goes back to like, how do I get to that point where I am a little bit more disciplined, and I've budgeted my time better, and I make sure that I'm not overdoing one thing or another. So I'm not overdoing music, and I'm not overdoing video editing. I'm not overdoing social media. Oh my God, I could do so much less social media. Not overdoing watching video content, whether it be YouTube or Verve or Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime or whatever else it may be. And I'm not overdoing playing video games, and I'm not, stressing myself out about the creative side of things. And so I guess really I just need to make a decision, and I'm really bad at making decisions, and I need to make a decision as to what I'm going to do next. As of now, I guess the decision to make this video has been my next decision. I'm going to make this video, and I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to throw it into Premiere and get an initial cut, and then I'm going to throw it into After Effects and add a few other things. And then I'm gonna maybe really take it in and see what else I can do with it, and is this gonna be an interesting piece of content, and how do I make it a little bit more interesting, a little more fascinating? What parts do I cut out? Do I leave it all in? Because sometimes I like leaving everything in. And sometimes I like having a little bit more raw of a video, especially when I'm like, okay, well, this ranting is part of the appeal of this video, or I want it to be a part of the appeal of this video. And so, like, am I trying to attract people who are into this kind of stuff, or do I try to cut it up and make it a little bit more digestible? Or at the end of the 17 minutes currently that I've been ranting, do I want people to just listen to me ranting this whole time? And maybe people don't need all this extra BS. These are the questions I ask myself. It's really tempting to do something stupid to try to go viral and then gain some traction, because I only have no subscribers, 39, and not everybody's going to come back, and not everybody's going to be watching it consistently, and that's fine. Like, you have no obligation to me, and I appreciate the people who do subscribe, because I really want to do something with this. I want to have a platform, because I want to go somewhere, and I want people to listen. But what kind of attention do I want to attract for myself? And what kind of discipline do I want? And what do I do next? And I need to do something. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to make this video. I'm going to start writing things down at the beginning of every day. I'm going to have weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, every 2-year goals, every 5-year goals. And I'm going to find an interesting way to structure that and have a document that I can go back to constantly. Something like that. Well, if you made it all the way through, thank you so much. If you feel led, like, comment, subscribe. Where are you at with your life? Let me know in the comments below. Does any of this echo in your brain? Let me know. I should really start being better about end slates, so I guess here's a video. Here's another vlog. Or a cover right here. Yeah. I'm going to be more diligent. Thanks for listening. And have a good day.